Nautilus Jungle. A pick that sounds completely troll for sure, but when you take a second look at this, you might realize that this might be a good jungle champ after all. His clear speed got buffed on the 13.3 patch, providing him with more damage on the E ability against monsters, and by building him full of P, you are able to one-shot some squishy champions. Jokes aside, we are not going to build him full of P. But his major strength is his ridiculous gank potential, which you can't mess up with point-and-click abilities, and even flashing away won't save the enemy from his death. A gank that grants you with a kill by 100%. But before we go on a journey to terrorize other lanes, we have to clear our jungle in order to unlock these spells. But first, you need to choose one of these jungle X. Go with the blue one. No, I'm not going to take the green one. I'm not going to take the blue one either. Yeah, I will take the red egg.
Step away from the shrine, stranger. You don't know what you're doing. Just put the egg down slowly and lay flat on the ground. No! No! You fool! You've doomed us all!
Well, it won't be that dramatic, but the movement speed the blue one gives you is just nice to have in order to run towards them and stun them with your auto attack passive. Anyway, let's start with the clear path. Nautilus is going to start his jungle clear at the blue buff, since his main damage comes from his E-spell, which we are going to spam it as often as possible. There is nothing more worse than running out of mana and clearing the camps with Nautilus auto attacks. Back to the blue buff. Clear it by auto-attacking and using the water fountains in between in order to maximize your damage output. But there is one thing you need to consider when pulling a camp. Nautilus auto-attack stuns an enemy for about 1 second, so when you walk away in order to pull the blue buff, he might be stuck on the previous position due to the fact that he is rooted. So always have an eye on the passive cooldown, which is shown as a circle around your opponent. After you are finished with the blue golem, turn around by 180 degrees and put your second skill point into the W spell. Not only does this ability provide Nautilus with a huge shield which increases his sustain throughout the jungle clear, it also applies the so-called Pain of Wrath, which deals some magic damage over time.
What the hell was that?
Last but not least, this ability is also an auto attack reset, so when you approach a jungle camp, E auto attack, W auto attack reset, and that's basically how you are going to clear your jungle throughout the game. When you get your third skill point, you can decide to put it either into your E-spell in order to increase the clear speed, or you can use it to unlock your hook, which allows Nautilus to look on his minimap and catch some players who are overextending a bit. But this tool also allows you to hook through the jungle, flying from camp to camp, increasing Nautilus clear speed. Anyway, when there is no one you can gank, there is no other option left than to continuing the jungle clear at the raptors and head right after to the red buff. When you are done with that thing, there is no more time left to do the golems, so you should skip these things and go to the scuttle crab right away. Well, here is a situation where we might get in trouble, since we are forced to fight an enemy jungler as a Nautilus. It's actually not that bad as most of you guys might think, since he has some solid base stats and the shield and the E-spell provide him with enough damage in order to scare them away. And things just get better when both teammates are coming for help, since thanks to his CC spells and the slow with his runes, it is quite easy to pick up a kill. And that's also the reason why you should go for early game ganks, since it's nearly impossible to escape them, even when the enemy has all his summoner spells up. And Nautilus only has to use 2 things in order to succeed his first gank attempt. First of all, you have to spot a lane where the enemy is overextending, which should be common knowledge. After that, you just casually walk up to that lane and try to auto-attack the enemy, which roots your opponent thanks to Nautilus passive. This can be already enough to collect a kill, but sometimes, your enemy still has a summoner spell up which allows them to escape these kind of situations, but not against a Nautilus, since we still have our hookup with the most fair hitbox in the game, making the enemy flash completely useless. That's the main reason why you shouldn't make use of the hook right at the beginning of the gank. By holding it in your backhand, the enemy starts panicking and will try to dodge around in order to escape the hook, allowing Nautilus to walk up to them and stun them with his passive, and throw the hook right after when they try to flash away. An easy combo no one can mess up, since the gank only consists of an auto attack and a hook on a stationary target. But sometimes there are no other options left than to engage with the Q spell, since some enemies managed to put a ward and spotted my gank attempt too early. Well, no problem at all. Have fun trying to dodge this hook with the massive hitbox.
Captain!
Yeah?
And when you manage to hit someone with that on the bot lane, you can be sure to collect a double kill thanks to the Rune Ice Age, freezing the whole area and slowing both opponents. Oh, and since the passive cooldown only counts on one person each, you can use the passive route on both champions right away, so there is literally no problem whatsoever to collect a double kill on the bot lane. But yeah, you have to hit your hook in order to succeed the gank. Or do you? And since this is the easiest way to collect gold as Nautilus Jungle, you are going to repeat this process again and again. Well, as I have already shown you in the past segment of this video, ganking with Nautilus is one of the easiest things in this game. Believe it or not, it gets even easier when the game keeps going, thanks to this point and click ultimate. You can literally start the gank now with a single click on the enemy, allowing Nautilus to throw his hook on a knocked up target and stun them right afterwards, so you can now completely skip the walking towards the enemy part, which makes many things way more easier. It helps you a lot by catching enemies who are trying to walk away or even allows you to one-shot them. Since you are also going to max the E-spell first in order to deal more damage towards your opponent and increase the clear speed of this thing. And that's basically everything that Nautilus Jungle does. Clearing the jungle, ganking the lanes, and avoiding teamfights. Since this main event where all 10 idiots on the Rift come together is just a horrible place for Nautilus to be, it's hard to get to the carry in order to one-shot them. Instead, you are the one vanishing from the battlefield in an eye blink. When there is no other option left, you can use Zhonya's to delay the upcoming gray screen for a few seconds or use your anchor in order to disengage from the battlefield as fast as possible. This thing is quite useful, since it can also be used to hook toward drakes in order to steal them or when someone walks up to cancel your recall.
Huh?
But here is another question. When Nautilus sucks at team fighting, what is his main goal he wants to achieve during the late game? Simple. Getting some picks with his hook. The best case scenario would be by catching a fed hyper carry, which would allow your teammates to burst him down, or force some champions into a 1v1 battle, which they are also going to lose for sure. But yeah, when there is no other option left than to teamfight, just go ahead and try to focus the enemy carry or peel for yours, which allows him to clear the battlefield. Here are the build and runes for Nautilus Jungle, and when you want to know why you should start playing Avalon support in your games, click on this video right here.